All right. Good evening and welcome back once again to our channel. We can only but give thanks to God for everything. Everything. The Bible said in everything we should give thanks to God for what He has done. And I can say categorically that the Lord has been faithful to us in every way. But tonight, I actually want to bring some of the revised cash-related policies of the Central Bank of Nigeria that is going to be effective 1st January 2026 to our understanding. A couple of days ago, the Central Bank of Nigeria, through its financial policy and regulatory department, released one major circular that was announcing some wide range of revised cash-related policies that's going to apply to all the banks, all the financial institutions, and every Nigerian, including you listening to me right now. That's why it's important that we bring it to your understanding as you await your disbursement, so that this will be part of our understanding and reforms. Now, these reforms actually is marking one of the most significant updates to Nigeria's cash handling structure in recent years. And the purpose of these new measures is actually to streamline how cash is managed across the financial system, reduce the risk that is linked to excessive cash movement, and further strengthen the drive towards electronic payments and modern banking system. So for a lot of years now, Nigeria has depended heavily on the physical use of cash, and this heavy reliance has come with its own consequences, like the beg your pardon, the high cost, some of the security concerns we are having, and increasing risk of money laundering in our community, even in our country at the moment. And as technology begins to evolve and the economy shifts towards the digital payment, the CBN believes that it is time to simplify and realign some previous cash policies to fit today's realities. And the new circular that just came out, I think it was on the 2nd of December or thereabout, that new circular now begins to explain while some earlier policies were useful at the time of their introduction, the country's financial landscape has continued to change rapidly currently. So there is a need to revitalize or harmonize the old rules that existed before, remove some provisions that are no longer effective, and also begin to set clearer limits and guidelines that banks and customers must comply with. Now, the new directives is going to be applying nationwide and is mandatory for all deposit-taking financial institutions in the country. In essence, some of these are key changes that applies to us and what they mean for every individual, businesses that is going to be erupting, banks, and also the public. I'm going to be explaining them for us in real time so that we can get all of the narratives that applies to us in this perspective. The first one there is the removal of deposit limit and fee on excess deposits. In some of the older policies, there was a limit on the amount of cash that an individual or organization could deposit within a certain period. And if you had to deposit more than that said amount, it's going to be attracting an excess deposit fee. This measure was originally meant to discourage people and organizations from excessive cash deposits and encourage digital alternatives. However, with the revised policy right now, the CBN has now completely removed the cumulative deposit limit, meaning that customers can now deposit any amount of cash without restriction. Then in addition, the excess deposit fee has also been abolished. So banks can no longer charge customers extra fee simply because the deposit exceeded a set threshold amount. And then this removal is designed currently to make banking easier for the masses, to also eliminate unnecessary charges and allow smoother transactions, especially for legitimate businesses that deal with large cash volumes. That was the first resolve, or the first, how will I put it now? The first resolve that was made. Then the second one was the new cumulative weekly withdrawal limit. One of the major highlights of the new circular is the introduction of a uniform cumulative weekly withdrawal limit currently in vogue. And this limit is going to be affecting cash withdrawals across all channels over the counter, called the OTC, the automated teller machines, the ATMs, the point of sales, the POS machine terminals, and other method of withdrawal or withdrawing money physically. In other words, the updated limits are 500,000 per week for individuals and 5 million per week for corporate bodies. Now, these limits do actually represent the total amount of cash that can be withdrawn weekly. So if an individual or business withdraws more than this amount within the week, the excess amount is going to be attracting an excess withdrawal fee, which is explained in part of the sections of the circular that was also proffered. And the goal of this withdrawal limit is really to reduce excessive cash movement in the economy and also encourage digital payments while minimizing the security risk associated with carrying or handling large amounts of cash. Just wait for me. I'll be right in a moment. Don't go anywhere. All right, thank you very much, and welcome back once again to our exposition from the government policies and circulars that has been released just lately that applies to every one of us while we await disbursement. So thirdly, we have the cancellation of exceptional authorization for large cash withdrawals. We understand that previously individuals and corporate organizations were allowed to apply for some special approval to withdraw large amounts of cash above the standard limits, and individuals could access up to 5 million naira with corporate organizations, while the corporate organizations could withdraw up to 10 million naira monthly if they provide valid reasons and followed the CBN approval process. But then under the new policy, the CBN has fully cancelled these exceptional cash withdrawal authorizations. And what this means is that there is no single individual that can apply for special approval to withdraw 5 million naira monthly. And there is no corporate body also that can apply for approval to withdraw 10 million naira monthly. All customers must now strictly comply with the new weekly limits unless some further instructions are issued by the CBN going forward. All right. Then we also got the circular for the policy on ATM withdrawal limits. The CBN revised cash withdrawals limit specifically through ATMs. The updated rule states that daily ATM withdrawal limit is going to be 100,000 per customer, and the weekly ATM withdrawal limit is going to be 500,000 naira, aligning with the general withdrawal limit. That's serious. Now, what this means is that the customers cannot exceed 100,000 per day through ATM machines. And that's what it means. That's wonderful. And then the total ATM withdrawal forms part of the overall weekly withdrawal limit set by the CBN, and so the rule covers withdrawal from POS devices as well. Then there was the case of the excess withdrawal fees. To discourage exceeding the limits, the CBN has introduced some clear penalties that any withdrawal above the set weekly limit is going to be attracting 3% fee for individuals, and then for corporate customers, 5% fee. And this means that if a customer goes beyond the allowed withdrawal amount, they will have to pay an extra charge based on the total amount exceeding the limit. And these fees will be shared between the CBN 40% and the banks or financial institutions 60%. This measure, according to the policy, helps to reinforce compliance and discourages unnecessarily large cash withdrawals. Then the sixth point is the ATM denominations. The circular also notes that all currency denominations are allowed to be loaded into ATMs, which means that banks are free to load lower denominations where necessary, allow customers to access a broader range of cash values. Then the limit on third-party check encashment also persists. The CBN retains the existing limit of 100,000 naira for over-the-counter encashment of third-party checks, and this means that if someone gives another person a check, the person receiving it can only withdraw up to 100,000 naira in cash at the bank, and any amount above this must go through an account transfer process or other non-cash channels. And this restriction would ensure that the third-party checks are not used to bypass withdrawal limits. Then we have the mandatory reporting by banks. To ensure there's transparency and compliance, banks must also submit monthly reports to the CBN, and the report is going to cover all the cash withdrawal transactions exceeding the specified limits. Then all the cash deposit activities also. This report must be submitted to the Banking Supervision Department and the Payment Systems Supervision Department. I don't think we have anything to do with all of those stuffs. What again did they even talk about? All right, they talked about the exemptions, which are now adjusted. In the previous circulars, certain groups were exempted from some cash policies. For example, the embassies, the diplomatic missions, the aid donor agencies, the government revenue generating accounts, the microfinance banks, and the primary mortgage banks. But then the new policy cancels the exemption for embassies, for diplomatic missions, and aid donors. These institutions must now be able to comply like everyone else. But there are two other categories that remains exempted, and that's the revenue generating accounts of federal, state, and local governments, and the accounts of microfinance banks and primary mortgage banks maintained with commercial and non-interest banks. So we also have the validity and superseding of earlier circulars. The circular clearly states that while it respects the provisions of some earlier circulars listed before, it also overrides and replaces all circulars that has been listed. And this ensures the clarity regarding which rules remain active and which rules have been abolished. Finally, the CBN concludes by instructing all banks, all institutions, and customers also, including you and I, to strictly comply with all these new rules starting from January 1st, 2026. And the new measures are intended to modernize Nigeria's financial system to improve security, reduce cost, and enhance transparency. The circular was signed by Dr. Rita CK, the Director of Financial Policy and Regulation Department. So let me just simplify everything I've said since, and just to categorize everything in one piece. Now, first, there is no more deposit limit, and banks cannot charge customers for depositing too much cash. All right. Secondly, you can only withdraw 500,000 per week as an individual and 5 million per week as a company. Then thirdly, withdrawing more than this is going to attract heavy charges. Fourthly, no more special approval to withdraw large amounts like 5 million or 10 million monthly. Fifthly, ATM withdrawal is 100,000 per day. I don't understand. All right, you want to buy a car? Anyway, you just have to send them. Don't have to start withdrawing them. Just send it through e-sending, okay? Then third-party checks cannot be cashed above 100,000 at a counter. Also, banks must report all large deposits and withdrawals to the CBN. Then some institutions that used to be exempt are no longer exempt. And this new rule takes effect on 1st of January 2026. All right, so that is just the summary of every detail I've been saying since. In case you still have some questions or issues that bothers on this circular, which applies to everyone. So don't say, well, this doesn't concern me, that's your business, blah, blah, blah. It will concern you in 2026. So that's why this is valid. If in case you're confused, listen to this piece over and over again and get all the details you need to get before 2026 happens. Thank you very much. This is Princess It. We love you always for the masses. God bless you to have a nice night rest. Good night.